Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode brought to you by Double Sleeves. Today we're going to be going over the GT Goku deck idea. As always, if you're new to the channel, if you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, a comment and subscribe, but let's jump into the deck. Starting off with the leader, we have Son Goku. When this card is placed in your leader area, we get to play up to one Spaceship Vessel of Hope from your deck and with a marker on it. It is up to one, so be sure to remember to start off with the unison out. You don't want to be missing that because the deck definitely does rely on having that unison. Auto, choose up to one Spaceship Vessel of Hope in your unison area and place one Saiyan card from your hand under it. And then when this card attacks, we get to draw two cards. And then Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, or one of your unison cards has 7 or more markers on it, you may draw two cards, then add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6, and flip this card over. Now, compared to a lot of other unisons, getting 7 markers on it sounds quite outrageous, but you will see that this unison accumulates markers quite easily compared to a lot of others, so we're able to get it out quite early and turbo those markers pretty easily. On the Awakened side, we've got Son Goku, Pan and Trunks, Space Adventurers. It's 15k, auto when this card attacks, draw 1, activate main once per turn for 1 red energy. If you don't have a unison in play, we get to play up to one Spaceship Vessel of Hope from our hand or drop area with a marker on it. So if our opponent is able to remove it by using some kind of effect like the green 5-drop Boo or Kai Secret Rare, or they swing into it a whole bunch of times, we do have another option to play it again. And then activate main once per turn. Spirit Boost 10. If you have 5 or more energy, we get to play up to one red Son Goku GT with a energy cost of 8 from our hand, and he gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. Moving into the unison that the deck so heavily relies on, we've got Spaceship Vessel of Hope. It's a 15k, Empower red 10. Permanent, this card can't attack. And then we've got the auto limit 1. If this card has 4 or more markers on it, when this card is played, we get to draw 1 card, then choose up to one of our red battle cards and up to one of our red leader cards, and they get 5,000 power for the turn, sorry. And then the +0 activate main, place one Saiyan card from your hand under this card, draw 1 card, and then add a marker to this card for each card underneath the unison, up to 3. So if we have 3 cards underneath the unison or 6 cards underneath the unison, we still only get to +3. But a +3 is phenomenal. This is one way that we're able to turbo the markers on our unisons up to the 10s and 10 plus. But yeah, it makes it extremely difficult for our opponent to remove, and we're placing the cards underneath the unison that we want. Now, a lot of the cards in the deck play from underneath the unison, so it's good that we're able to pick and choose which ones we want underneath to get those effects. Moving into the deck, we've got SS Son Goku and SS Trunks and Pan, sorry, shouldn't leave Pan out, Galactic Explorers. It's an 8-drop, 8 cost, 30k with Deflect. We've got an activate main for 3 red energy. If you have 4 or more energy, we get to play this card from under a unison card. So starting off with one of the cards that we're able to play with from under the unison, so we can kind of see how it ties in with a lot of the effects of placing cards underneath. Activate main once per turn, Spirit Boost 3. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 30,000 power for the turn, and then this card gains triple attack for the turn. So being a 30k triple attack is extremely good. If our opponent's low on life, we can rip away their hand and close out the game with this card. Activate main limit 1, choose up to one of your red unisons with 10,000 power or more and place this card under it from your hand or battle area, and then add a marker to the chosen card. So an additional effect of being able to place this underneath the unison to get an additional marker, and then we can play some of our other cards underneath to get even more markers as well. Then we've got Son Goku, Battle of Planet M2. It's a 15k critical. Evolve for 1 red energy. We get to draw 1 card when we evolve over a red Son Goku GT. Auto limit 1. Choose one Spaceship Vessel of Hope in your unison area and place 1 Saiyan card from your hand under it. When this card is played, we get to draw 1 card and then add a marker to the chosen card. And then we've got an activate main limit 1 for 1 red. If you have 2 or more energy, we get to play this card from under a unison card. So being able to replace the Saiyan underneath, draw a card, and then add an additional marker to the unison is extremely good for 1 energy. but we've got the evolve skill, so an alternate way to play this card as well over a red Son Goku GT, which is our 1-drop Son Goku Adventures Advent. Now this card is just a 4k 1-drop. When it's played, we get to look at the top 5 cards of the deck, add up to 1 red Saiyan card with an energy cost of 4 or less, or 1 red Unison with a specified cost of 1 from our hand, and then shuffle. And then activate main limit 1, choose 1 spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area and place this card underneath it, and then add a marker to the chosen card. So we can play this card for 1, search the top 5, and then do the activate main immediately to add the marker if we feel like we need additional markers on the Unison, or we can leave this card on the field and then play the 3-drop Son Goku on the EX Evolve over it to get that 15k critical, draw a card, place Saiyan underneath, and then add the additional marker. Next we have 15k 4-drop SS Trunks Soaring Through Space. It's got barrier, again an evolve for 1 red energy over a red Trunks. We get to draw 1 card as well. And then a permanent, while this card is in rest mode, your opponent can't attack your Unison card. A pretty cool permanent, although I don't think our opponent's going to be attacking our Unison cards a whole lot, since we're able to get an extremely large amount of markers quite early. Our opponent's not going to feel like they're in a position to remove the Unison, so they're going to be attacking our leader most likely, or our battle cards. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. So really good to remove a lot of the little pesky 1-drops that our opponent might play, or something that we want to swing into. And then activate main limit 1 for 1 red energy. If your opponent has 1 or more energy, we get to play this card from under a Unison card. Next we have Trunks Battle on Planet M2, another 15k. This one has blocker, same EX Evolve, 1 red energy, we get to draw 1 card, evolving over a Trunks GT. Auto limit 1, choose 1 spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area and place 1 Saiyan card from your hand underneath it. When this card is played, draw 1 and then add a marker to the chosen card, similar to the 3-drop Goku. And then the activate main limit 1 red energy. If you have 2 or more energy, play this card from under a Unison card. A bit of a trend here of playing cards under the Unison like we went over, but both the Trunks are able to evolve over one another since they're both Trunks GT, or we can evolve over Trunks Advent's Adventure. To 1-drop 4k. When this card is played, draw 1, and then again like the 1-drop Goku, we've got the activate main if we want, limit 1, choose 1 spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area, place this card under it, and then add a marker to the chosen card. So depending if we need the extra marker or we want to evolve, we've got the options there. Pan Adventures Advent, it's a 4k barrier, activate main limit 1, choose 1 spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area, and then we get to place 1 Saiyan card from our hand under it. We get to draw 1 card and add a marker to the chosen card. So this one gives us an option to kind of cycle through our Saiyans and get them under our Unison cards and kind of sift through our deck. And it's got barrier, so it is going to sit on the field quite easily. Then we've got Pan Soaring Through Space, an SR coming out in the Ultimate Squad set. This one is a 5k blocker for 2 red energy. Activate main limit 1. It's a Spirit Boost 1 effect as well. If you have 2 or more energy, we get to play this card from under a Unison card. So it doesn't require any energy for this effect, just a Spirit Boost 1. And then we've got the activate main limit 1, 2 red energy. If your leader card is a Son Goku GT card, we get to play up to 1 Son Goku GT card and up to 1 Trunks GT card, both red and with 15,000 power or less from under a spaceship Vessel of Hope in your Unison area. So a lot of the different cards that we just went over, being Trunks and GT cards, are able to be played from underneath the Unison, which we're able to get underneath quite easily. But there's also another Son Goku GT card that we are playing, that we are able to play, which is Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku, a card that we saw from set 3. It's a 15k Son Goku GT with critical and permanent. When your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy cost of this card in your battle area by 2, making it a 5 cost. Why that's relevant is we do have a couple of different EX Evolve effects in this deck that we can evolve over a 5-drop Son Goku GT. For example, we have Victorious Fist Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, which is an EX Evolve for 1 red energy. Sorry, I should mention it's a 25k double strike as well. EX Evolve for 1 red energy, place 1 card from your hand in your drop area, We get to EX Evolve over a red Son Goku GT with an energy cost of 5 or more, being the 3-drop Goku that we just went over. Auto once per turn. When this card attacks, switch this card to active mode and it gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, making it a 30k, which is pretty good, but it doesn't end just there, because we do have Triple Flash SS4 Son Goku. Now this card is a 30k Triple Strike. It's an EX Evolve for 1 red energy over a red Son Goku GT with an energy cost of 5 or more. So either of the cards that we went over, depending on where our life is at. This card has Deflect, Triple Strike, which we went over. Auto, when this card is played, draw 2 cards and you may not activate EX Evolve for the duration of the turn. And then permanent, if this card's power is 40,000 power or more and your leader card is a red Saiyan card, your opponent may not activate counter during battles where this card is attacking, which is extremely good, being a 30k Triple Strike. If our opponent can't activate counter, then they're locked into either blocking or comboing out, which can be quite difficult if you don't have any blockers on the field. So pretty good. All we need to do is get this card to 40,000 power or more. If we do attack with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, give it the +5, which will carry over the Evolve, then we only need to get 5k more to make it 40k, which we can do with the combination attack pan. So this has got a permanent. If you have a Son Goku GT or a Trunks GT with 25,000 power or more in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. And then we've got the activate main once per turn. Choose up to 1 Son Goku GT or Trunks GT in your battle area, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So if we do have either of these Gokus out on the field, we can free play the pan and then give it an additional 5k, getting this up to 40k hopefully, and locking our opponent out of activating counters. But moving into some of the other kind of staple red cards that we have within the deck, we've got Violent Rays, pretty standard extra card, 1 cost, counterattack. If your leader is red, negate the attack. You may choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. If you do, your opponent either can't, so we get to choose. Either our opponent can't attack with battle cards with 20,000 power or more, or unisons with 20,000 power or more, depending on which one we need, but a pretty strong red negate, as well as testing the opposition. So it's a 2-cost counterattack, negate the attack, then play 1 Cyberman token, which has 5,000 power, 0 combo cost, and 5,000 combo power. And that token gains blocker for the turn, and if your life is at 5 or less, then you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding 1 card from your life instead of paying its energy cost. New Ruler, again another staple in red decks. At this point, we're going to have so many markers that this card's pretty much always going to be available from essentially turn 1. Double Strike, if your leader is red, this card gets plus 5,000 power and your opponent can't activate blocker in response to this card's attack. And at the end of the turn, we have to send it to the warp. And then our super combo, if your leader is red and your life is at 4 or less, this card gets 10,000 combo power. Bottom deck 1 card, draw 2 cards. Pretty standard again in most red decks. And now a bit of a throwback to the old pan deck. We've got Chain Attack Trunks for those that remember. It's a 20k 4 cost for 3 specified red. We've got the Evolve for 2 red energy over a Trunks GT. Permanent, this card can attack battle cards that are in active mode. We've got the auto, when you play this card, choose up to 1 battle card from your hand with a power of 15,000 or less and play it. So we do have a lot of different battle cards that we're able to play, like the Gokus and the Trunks that we went over, but also Fearless Pan. Fearless Pan used to be a staple in a lot of red decks back in the day, but we don't see it too much anymore. It's a 3-drop 15k barrier blocker. When you play this card, choose all of your other red leader cards and red battle cards, and they gain plus 5,000 power and double strike for the turn. So Pan itself doesn't get it, but all of our other red battle cards and leader card do get that 5k and double strike, which can be extremely good if we're able to, use this in combination with some of our other battle cards. For example, the Goku, and give it that extra 5k, which will kind of go up the chain as we EX Evolve. But also being able to give our 8-drop Trunks, Pan, Goku, triple attacker the extra 5k and double strike, making this card 35k triple attack and double strike. Now this is a bit of a turn 5 play, since we need to have, unless we already have this card established, but if we're going to be paying 3 energy for this and then using the Chain Attack Trunks to get the pan out, it is something that we're going to be doing on turn 5, but it's a little cheeky play right there. The Overrealm, we've got SS4 Bardock fighting against Fate. Standard 25k Overrealm 6 dual attack, pretty common in a lot of aggressive decks at this point. And then Yamcha Merciless Barrage. Again, our Unison's going to be turboing those markers so easily that this card's going to be available essentially turn 1, on our turn 1 I should say. Counterplay, you can't activate counterplay skills on other cards for the turn. We get to choose 2 of our opponent's battle cards and they get minus 15,000 power for the turn, and then play this card. And then the secret rare for the deck, we've got Hyper Revolution Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. Again, another throwback card from set 3. It's an 8 cost 40k Son Goku card. So it is one that we're able to play off our leader's effect if we have 5 energy using the Spirit Boost 10 effect. And then this card will get plus 5,000 power for the turn, making it 45k. Or we've got the EX Evolve for 1 red energy. Place 2 cards from your hand in your drop area. We get to EX Evolve over a red Son Goku GT with an energy cost of 6 or more. So just quickly, we've got the Super Saiyan 3 and the Triple Flash. This card is a secret rare, so it's got Ultimate. Auto, when this card attacks, it gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then if this card's power is 60,000 or more, it deals 1 damage to your opponent's life. So we do want to be getting this card up to 60,000 obviously, and the way we do that is the activate main. Place 2 red cards from your hand in your drop area, switch this card to active mode. So it gives us the ability to continuously switch this card to active mode and give it an additional 5k for each attack. But when you've got things like the pan to give it an extra 5k, the leader if we're doing the Spirit Boost 10 effect, we can easily get this card to 60,000 power to start dealing damage just by simply attacking. Now depending if the upcoming set has a new secret rare which might take this one's place, more likely than not we may see one that fits into this slot a bit more comfortably, but at the moment this is a good option if you do have the secret rare. But of course we do have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta that we saw in Realm of the Gods as well, an exceptional secret rare as well. But that's essentially the deck. I'm looking forward to playing this one in person as well as the General Rildo. In testing, being able to accumulate so many markers onto the Unison and play cards from underneath the Unison feels quite good. There's a lot of good effects on the cards in this deck as well, and just a lot of good cards that I remember playing in Pan that I'm looking forward to finding and being able to play again. But if you enjoy the deck, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, and we'll see you in the next deck idea.